Transition is always a process. And just in review, transition is that emotional, relational, financial, and psychological processing of change. You have to process change. When something happens suddenly to you, whether it is death, sickness, blindness, paralysis, job loss, death of a loved one, you don't know what happens that can change your situation. Just being downgraded from the job and or laid off through downsizing. All of this produces change for us, and transition is that emotional, relational, financial, and psychological processing of the change. It has to be processed, because stress will come to you from having too little change or too much change. If things are not happening fast enough, you get stress. And if they happen too fast, you get stress. But I find that people are most receptive to God when they're under stress and in transition, because they're looking for Him, because they need help. But remember that transitions are internal, but change is actually an external event. It's an external event. Death, job loss, bankruptcy, divorce, marriage, birth, all of those are events, but they're external. And perhaps the most common form of change is the loss of or the change of a job. Because of the dynamism of the American economy, did you know that fully 20 million jobs are lost or restructured every year? 20 million, that's a whole lot of jobs lost. Now, may I put things in perspective for you? The good news is that 22 million more jobs are created each year as well. That's the good news. Now, we are experiencing massive change and transition in our world today. Consider this. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, there are now more than 100,000 job categories in the United States, and many subcategories within that number. And then you discover that the average person starting work today will have an average of 11 full-time jobs lasting 2 years or more, and 5 or more multi-year careers in different fields. And when I was growing up, the goal was to try to get a good job with a good company and work with them for life and retire after 40 years and get you a gold watch. That rarely happens today. The corporate world has a total different mindset. They want to get the best and brightest minds, keep them almost for the shortest period of time before they get worn out, suck the life out of you, the creativity, the innovation out of you, and turn you loose. And then you discover that it's quite common for people to move from one industry to another, from one part of the country to another, to enter a new job. It used to be where you just look for jobs in the town where you were from. If there wasn't but one mill, one factory in town, that's where most people went to work. Now, if the jobs are not in your town, you move. You go to where the job is. You don't wait for the job to come to your town anymore. You move to where it is. People moving all of the time. So many folks have come here to Atlanta looking for work because they heard that there were rumors that there were jobs. Then you had other folks from Atlanta who left and went elsewhere because they heard that there were rumors somebody was hiring up north or out west, in Chicago and the Midwest. And so they're gone looking for a place. But many of these professions are changing completely. Some folks are just changing their profession that they've been in completely. And then you discover that because of changing economic conditions, consumer taste, and national or international competition, entire industries are downsized or even eliminated. These are sometimes catastrophic changes that happen, and it takes a whole lot of transition, processing this stuff mentally and emotionally, psychologically, financially, all of these different degrees of dealing with the transition that the change brings to us. And then you discover that the demand for people within a particular job classification or career may decline or even disappear after a few short years.